Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Monday edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine. Joining me in the studio today on the panel is the Moose, of course, Broncola from Merry England, and
England.
Jim Hammertime from somewhere around Columbus, it seems to me. And
that would be correct.
Yep. So
unless he's on the road.
Yeah,
I am actually on the campus of the Ohio State University today.
Wow. Oh, nice. You checking out the co-eds?
The nurses.
He already gave.
Homina.
He already gave that too. Already gave.
You know, I was telling Bronk before the show.
Oh, the Aunt Jemima treatment.
Oh, here it is, 3D.
It's the Aunt Jemima treatment.
Nothing beats a striped reference. Yeah. Would you like me to swat that fly? Yeah, but I was telling Bronk how my shoulder is feeling better. My arms, my neck, my back. And like an idiot, I got this adjustable bed so I wouldn't snore so much to wake myself up, you know?
Yeah.
And I
had it wrongly adjusted.
Sleeping the same way I slept, which was with my arm under a pillow to keep myself the elevation. But with the elevation already in the adjustable bed, I was putting all this pressure on my neck, and my shoulders, and so last night I slept in a neutral position, and I feel better today. Now I still hurt up here because I've done damage, but still, this is better. This is better. So
you like a happy cow.
I couldn't even swat a fly yesterday. My shoulder was so bad, but today,
wow.
Ow. All right.
You're pretty much right now Dikembe Mutombo of flies. Is that what you're trying to say? No.
Yeah, fly goes by.
No.
Smack.
Whack.
Yeah, so we're starting out nice in the chat room. Happy for Nick, guys. He got out of the toxic Browns. You know, he knew this,
Oh, well.
This is not a complete thought by David. The McNairs are just try.
It's about as sensical as anything, really.
Well, McNair's
wife...
Wait,
there's a...
No, McNair's wife is...
There's a follow-up.
I know. I'm just fucking with him. McNair's wife is dry. Okay.
Wow.
And the McNairs are just screwing with Cleveland again. I'm sure that's all they have to do is screw with Cleveland. They don't have to screw with Cleveland. Cleveland screws with itself.
It does.
And then Paramjot is saying, is Darius as good as gone? Today, we have some things to talk about here on Moohead Radio. If you didn't hear the news, Darius Garland has gotten surgery on that, what was called a big toe sprain. Bullshit again. He's going to be out 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, that's
post-surgery. And he's not going to be ready for the regular season. He's going to be working out, but he won't be ready for the regular season. Right.
And he'll drop weight probably as opposed to gain weight.
Well, he never worked out in the off season anyway, so what would it matter?
The only workout he did was, and you work it out. Okay.
And Bronk was telling me, because whenever people die, Bronk tells me.
I'm the first one to know.
No, I mean, I get phone calls like at 3:00 in the morning. Everybody
still got that side job as a reaper, huh?
Yeah. And so go ahead. Give us your news, Bronk.
Sly of Sly and the Family Stone is now wishing to thank you for letting him be himself. He's dead.
No longer everyday people.
No, he's not. And another person who died, more famous here perhaps, is the author Frederick Forsyth, who
really?
did the very famous Day of the Jackal and also all those other sort of like quasi ex-Nazi things like the Omega Files and all that shit. So he's dead too.
Oh, well,
No.
we have double celebration today. I just want to celebrate. Yeah, we've gotten to a point where I don't even have to drag out the black cow anymore. I've got Bronc.
Well, there was a black cow that escaped from a backstreet Birmingham abattoir who ended up being rescued and sent off to an animal sanctuary here in England. So there was a actual black cow with the horns and everything, so who escaped.
Now, bear with me here. I'm going to do some headlines, but we will be talking about the Darius Garland situation, and we'll also be talking about more disgusting injuries on the Guardians. We'll be talking about all kinds of stuff, but first, the headlines.
Oh, can I very quickly interrupt? Because I'll lose this train of thought completely.
Yes.
I saw Friday's program, because remember I famously came on and said I had a nap. So I watched the end of it today, and I just wanted to comment what was that bring back the toughness thing for the Browns? I nearly fell out of my chair.
I mean, it's indistinguishable whether I'm being sarcastic or being serious. That's a true story.
What was the exact quote where the toughness is back?
Bring back toughness.
Bring back toughness.
That's what Joel Bitonio said. That's what he named it. It's like make America great again. America was supposed to be great all along. Fuck you. And toughness is supposed to go along with football. Fuck you. I mean,
I laughed my ass. Had I been on the program, I probably would have died. But anyway, carry on.
Around the world and up your street. Moohead Radio headlines. Why am I sounding like Byron Kaup?
Can I do the weather report when you're done? I got a gag for it.
Oh, God. Well, the Packers are releasing Jair Alexander after 7 seasons. Hey, you want a cornerback who's injured all the time and plays only 50% of the time?
Does he get concussions?
He could be yours.
Is there actually a cornerback that's more injured than ours? Here he is, folks.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
somebody posted
injuries, they're not like concussions and shit. I mean, this guy has missed 50% of the games. And here is what the president of the Packers
he's played 14 in 2 years. Yeah, 14 games in 2 years.
Yeah. First of all, he's been a great player for us, obviously an elite talent. Unfortunately, just injured a lot. Unfortunately, that's a big part of our game. No, it's a part of their game, you dumb fuck. You don't have to worry, Mark Murphy, president of the Packers, unless you fall down the stairs. You don't have to worry about injury. Everybody who plays the game gets injured, loses time,
and
loses money, loses their contract, and dies young. Okay? Let's be clear about that.
Yes.
The reality is, the last 4 years, it's about half of the games he's been able to play, so we kind of have been used to it. But he's not used to it. What do you mean you're used to it? It's like these people are heartless. Oh, my God.
The best ability is availability, folks.
Wow.
Alexander had planned to report for the Packers mandatory minicamp starting Tuesday, and all of a sudden it was like, just said, 1 moment.
Hey, he went up to the door of the facility and flashed his badge, and it goes, burp, burp. Wait a minute, this thing isn't working here.
Oh, God. Yeah, so he went on injured reserve the final week of the season, had knee surgery on what he said was a torn PCL. That came a year after shoulder and knee injuries, plus a 1-game suspension for conduct detrimental to the team, limited him to 7 games.
Oh, God. Everybody in the Browns would be suspended for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And by getting rid of him now, the Packers pick up more than $17 million in salary cap space for the season.
Woohoo.
So there's just no reason not to.
Yeah.
He was an All-Pro in 2020.
Wouldn't they eat some of that? Was his? I'm guessing his contract was up because otherwise, when they eat some of that, or they just get it because he's injured.
Yeah,
I'm not a cap expert. I don't know.
No, probably because
No
he
idea.
missed a certain percentage of games. Who in the hell knows? It's
that
all
makes
rigged
sense.
for the owners. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
The players
that
have
makes
to, and then they complain when Deshaun Watson gets the easiest $230 million you could ever make. They blame him.
Well,
It's like, no, he was smart.
Yep.
He signed the contract. They threw it at him.
Now,
Yep.
Jimmy Haslam. I'm going to do Jimmy Haslam in The Godfather as Fredo. Here we go. Woo! I'm smart. All right. So another player gone, and I say this in the shadow of the whole Nick Chubb thing, that he is going to get signed. It looks like in Houston.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for Nick.
Is he going to be reunited with Herman Fontenot and all those guys?
Well, I mean, at this point, the fact that there's one team offering him something, and would be backing up Joe Mixon, Richard Nixon, and Gene Dixon. I have, look, he's going to have a chance.
I predict
Yes, Swami.
Gene Dixon. I'm just.
Yeah,
Gene Dixon.
People don't remember who Gene Dixon was. She was a quack. Yeah, she said she could tell the future.
Yep.
Yeah, she was full of shit. She's a big sack of shit.
Dead though,
Then next in the headlines, the Colts reveal their ownership transition. Well, of course, you know that he died. Died. So
there's another person who died. Jim Carroll Band.
Yeah.
Who?
Jim Carroll Band. Remember people who died? Yeah. They were all my friends, and they died.
Oh, right.
You got to remember that track. Maybe it was just a Ohio thing.
Yeah. So in accordance with their father's wishes, Irsay's 3 daughters have assumed co-ownership of the team, with each getting respective roles within the franchise. Eldest daughter, Carly Irsay Gordon, will assume the role of owner and CEO.
Great name.
She could be ugly as fuck, and she's gonna get hit on now.
Wow.
NFL bylaws require that teams designate a single principal owner, even though that person may not be the ultimate decision maker. Yeah. Casey Foyt will be owner and executive vice president. Kalen Jackson will be owner. His younger sister will be the owner and chief brand officer. My feeling is this. It's not that the Colts have been doing very well recently. And I would say that 3 daughters are better than 1 drug addict.
Wow.
God damn it.
That's strong.
No, it's what he was. He killed himself on drugs.
Exactly.
They just hush everything in the goddamn league. Everything.
Yep. Christopher Melton, we were there. We've already thanked him for being ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, I told Bronk before the show, I can't even have here. It's raining, it's cold, hot fun in the summertime. Bullshit.
Correct.
Bullshit.
Well, I know why, Bronk. You're what, 5 hours ahead of us. That's why you knew.
Yeah, that's why I know all this shit. Yeah.
You know something, David? You thought it was alcohol. Well, yeah, I mean, alcohol somehow is a lot more palatable than being the drug addict that Jim Irsay was, because they found prescription medications all over the place. And this wasn't the first time. He had a history of utilizing and overtaking what were prescribed medications, but don't let that say anything either, because Elvis had prescribed.
Elvis, I did say Elvis too.
Yeah, he had prescribed medications too.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much for
Thank
the
you.
25,000 bills. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the Colts will live on with the daughters
Wasn't
of
that the plot of King Lear, where the three daughters get to share the kingdom, after the king dies? And
Yeah.
anyway, it was.
Then
I
there's
think
this
that's
little piece of
way too intellectual for our
That's
audience here.
erudite
erudite.
erudite reference.
Maybe I'm
There were-
speaking for
right.
myself.
There were troglodytes and erudites,
Erudites,
right?
yes.
Right.
Who
Troglodytes
can
were a great
name the three daughters in King Lear in the chat room? Anybody?
Oh, come on. No, I couldn't even name them.
Cordelia, Reagan, and Goneril.
Goneril?
Goneril. Goneril. That was her name. One of the three sisters in King Lear. I'm just showing off today, aren't I? Oh, are we ready for the weather report after the headlines? Because I got the
why
weather.
don't you let me get through the headlines first, and then we'll see. Okay?
Okay.
All right. The conference commissioners are really bullish on the new NIL enforcement rules. The problem is there aren't any yet. This is unbelievable. Only the greedy bastards that are involved in all sports, including college sports, would institute an NIL policy with absolutely no rules,
no oversight,
no enforcement, no knowledge of what breaking the rules means. It's unbelievable. This is one of the funniest things. Hours after the House versus NCAA settlement was approved on Friday, former Major League Baseball executive Brian Seeley was named the CEO of a new enforcement organization called the College Sports Commission, headed by Elliot Ness. His job will be to lead the team responsible for enforcement of the new rules around revenue sharing, third-party payments to players for NIL deals, and roster limits. But the biggest question is, what happens when the rules are broken? And of course, you know what the answer is. It depends which school does it.
Yeah.
If it's Alabama,
it's good.
Not a problem. If it's Ohio State, not a problem. However, if it's Miami of Ohio, yeah, we're banning you to the lower regions. You thought the MAC was insignificant. Wait till you find out where we put you next. Yeah. So unbelievable that you would institute a whole policy without any enforcement or any fucking rules.
Got a question that Hammer would probably know. Is there NIL in high school now?
No. That's part of the reason why Quinn Ewers left high school in Texas to come to Ohio State early, because they were going to offer him $1 million, some type of endorsement deal with a car dealer or some, it's Texas.
Because I would think Texas would do that. Yeah.
And so in order to, and the Texas, whichever group there's two or three, there's the CIL and something else, but 2 or 3 different organizations, but basically they said, no, you can't do that. So he's like, okay, well, fine. I graduate early and I'm going to go to Ohio State. So that's what he did. And then after he didn't make the starting team, he left and did real well at Texas, except not getting drafted very well. So there you go.
All right. And David, if it's Michigan, nobody gives a fuck. Fuck Michigan.
Nobody cares.
Gives a goddamn about that. The Bengals are getting rid of Jermaine Pratt, their starting linebacker.
Great name.
Yeah. He's been a starter in each of the past 6 seasons, and he was an important figure on a very underachieving defensive team. 29 years old. You see, whenever they get close to that 30-year-old age, yeah. And then it's left for teams like the Browns to pick up the old crippled players.
Or the Steelers if it's a quarterback.
And the Bengals will gain $5.9 million in savings on the 2025 cap. I think this is the funniest part of the story. The parting of ways was inevitable, given how the offseason transpired. First, Pratt requested a trade. Well, right there.
Right there.
Right there. There's the
Right.
reason why he won't be playing anymore in Cincinnati.
Down goes Pratt.
And the reason that Pratt requested a trade was the dumbest of all reasons, because they fired their defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo, who did a lousy job in Cincinnati.
He got picked up right away, didn't he?
Right away by the Indianapolis Colts, by the daughters.
By the daughters. It must be hot.
By a drug addict. I think the drug addict hired him. It's like, oh, wow. I could just see Irsay. It's like, have you been watching the videos of Elon Musk?
No.
Where he's high?
Oh, yeah. God damn.
We don't get those over here, thankfully. We got our own problems.
Oh, he's flying on something. So, at any rate, he asked for a trade. So, the first thing that Cincinnati did was drafted 2 linebackers in the second and the 4th round.
Yeah, that'll do.
And when Coach Zach Taylor was asked about the 2 and 4th round picks, the 2 linebackers, one of them, who is the 2nd round guy, Demetrius Knight Jr.,
great name.
He's going to walk in the door and fight for a way to contribute immediately. I'm fired up to watch that happen. And oh, by the way, you, Pratt, fuck you. Go. See who wants a 30-year-old.
I'm pretty sure starting a fight isn't a good way. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
So that's that. And then I have to do this because it's important. News that's not news. And I can only do it this way. Let me tell you, baby, I am the happiest man in the world. For the first time in about 10 minutes, I'm cancer-free. And I feel...
Oh, dear.
I'm sorry. But, for a cheap laugh,
Wow. Wow. Dickie
I'm just checking my watch to see how long it's been, baby. No. And the news that ESPN throws up, that's not news, is that Dick Vitale is going to be sticking around next season. He signed a contract through the 2027-28 season, while ESPN Events is launching the Dick Vitale Invitational. The first matchup will be a game between Duke and Texas, November 4th in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, the reason this isn't news is because I'm going to go back a number of years, many years.
How many?
When I was coming off the tennis court and I saw Dick Vitale in a chair, because he liked to take tennis lessons and all. He played tennis. And down where I live. And I saw him sitting there in his chair, and he was fast asleep, so I didn't bother him. All right. But he did wake up, and he said to me, "No, you're that guy who was doing you're on the internet, aren't you?" He goes, "You do the Browns thing." I go, yeah. I lose. I do the Browns thing all the time. And I've told the story before that at the time, Vitale's daughter was dating Brady Quinn.
Yeah.
He goes, "You have any inside scoop on what's happening with Brady Quinn? What's the organization thinking about him?" And I'm like, I can't say that, because if she marries him, how am I going to say, well, Dick, he's not gonna make it. Tell your daughter to find somebody who's potentially wealthy, because he won't be.
Well, then she married AJ Hawk, though, anyway. So it was a happy ending for her.
No, but I struck up a real nice relationship with Dick. And he is an interesting fellow. And he's not at all, like, if you're talking to him, he's not all animated. That's an act for television. That's right. It's shtick. But what he did tell me, that was the greatest. This was the greatest moment of my off the air, podcast life. is when he let me listen in to a conversation between he and the new president of ESPN. This is many years ago. And after the conversation, he looked at me and he said, "They're not letting me do the games anymore like they used to. And that's because I'm old. But I'm grandfathered in and they can't do anything about it. That's the deal. And that deal's grandfathered." Okay.
Okay.
So this whole story isn't news. He's grandfathered. He was going to come back, more times than a fucking vampire as long as there's not daylight outside.
Yeah, it sounds like it's just like out of spite, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to be here until I
Let me tell you,
die.
baby, I'm not going to die. I'm going to make you keep bringing me back year after year.
I fucking hate you fuckers.
Even if I end up doing Jackson State basketball games, you're not going to get rid of me. Actually, I'm really happy that he's cancer free. This guy's fought like 4 years plus.
Oh, at least.
Really, really an incredible thing. So he'll be back, and which is exciting stuff. All right, now we go to Nick Chubb.
Oh, well, we're not done with the headlines yet.
Yeah, well, go ahead. What do you want to do?
Well, the weather report, I'm looking out my window, and tonight's forecast is dark. And it's going to stay mostly dark until widely scattered daylight, sometime around 5 o'clock in the morning.
And the temperature at the airport is 67 degrees, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because I don't know anybody who lives at the airport.
Nobody lives at the airport, yeah. That was George Carlin.
We're doing George Carlin. Sitting here doing George Garland comedy. Yeah, Nick Chubb set to sign with the Texans today, pending his physical. But he is in a room full of running backs, and we all want him to succeed.
We do.
And, and he is a Cleveland Brown in all of our hearts. And, the Browns drafted 2 running backs, and that's the end of that. So I hope he gets an opportunity to play. And you know something? You can bet that I'll be watching some of the Texans games just to see if he gets out there on the field. First, he has to make it through training camp, He's got to show that he's got something left. And the thing is, the man was such an outstanding running back. For my money, Jim Brown and him. And that's the top of the list. And then you can start talking about, the Mike Pruitts or whatever you want to talk about, the Greg Pruitts and that kind of thing.
Oh, what, for Cleveland? Yeah, Leroy Kelly I'd throw in there too. But
Leroy Kelly was great. Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis. He was the best white guy we had.
Yeah, right. He's the best guy who made the cover of a video game that cursed him and he never played again.
Touchdown Tommy Vardell.
Oh, God. Half a yard in a cloud of dust. Oh, God. He was from
You're leaving out good players, Mack and Biner.
Mack and Biner were
misused players, Metcalf up the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, misused. Yeah. The most exciting stuff that Metcalf did were returning kicks, and he could catch balls out of the backfield, and but running him.
The Steelers
inside.
Game where he had 2 kick returns for touchdowns.
I believe you were in the crowd for that one, weren't you?
I was there.
You were there. You were there for that one.
You are there.
So, and anyway,
Marion Motley. God, good Lord.
Marion Motley.
Hall of Famer. Yeah. But hey, we wish you all the best, Nick Chubb. Think about it though. It's going to be 2 years since the injury.
Yep. Have you faded into Hammer?
No.
What?
What's going on?
We've got like a feedback loop going on here.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening here. Huh. Are we back?
I'm here. No,
right?
Hammer's gone. Hammer's gone now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Maybe he was on his
went goofy
phone.
with his mic, and so I was trying to reset the mic, and then it started screwing this up.
Yeah,
So
maybe
jump back in, Jim. It was
probably a phone Android thing. Like, I hate using Android and being on here.
yeah.
But
So
anyway,
at any rate, we'll all be cheering for Nick Chubb.
yeah, we love Nick Chubb.
Now, here's the main thing to talk about with the Darius Garland injury, which turned out to be, of course, more serious than anyone thought.
Tell us, Dr. Moon.
Well, but basically, there's some people now are saying it was turf toe.
Turf toe.
Turf toe. But
Turf toe.
Turf toe is like a football injury.
It is, because it's on turf.
Well, it's just the way the foot is, shaped and the way that the forces that it has to take. But it could be just as much stopping and starting on a hardwood floor.
Yeah.
And Darius, obviously, and I see Hammer is trying to get back in here. Are you with us, Jim?
I think that was a me problem.
Well, you're still buffering. Wait, say something.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you're cutting kind of.
Yeah, you're cutting out. Like,
okay. Well, I can bail then. That's okay.
Like you're the luckiest man.
Well, wait. Just hold on a minute here. Let's take a look at this.
It's got to be me. Mike, let me do one thing real quick.
It's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. Okay.
Probably my
terrible 5G
signal. Any better?
5G.
Yeah.
No, I can't hear you at all.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
all right. Good.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Try it again. So
we're here all week.
Yeah. So the turf toe injury is something that a lot of players will try to rest it off, but then it never heals right, and it always ends up requiring surgery. And that's what happened to Darius Garland. So now that's
surgery. Like, tell me, Dr. Moon, what is like the knuckle on the toe, or what's the problem?
It's the big toe, it's the downward force on the foot creates like a
spur,
a detachment.
Ooh.
And it is a very strange thing, but the surgery got done, so it was a successful surgery, but they're talking 4 to 5 months. They're saying that he will not be ready for the regular season.
He can't be.
And this is a very interesting moment in the history and the evolution of the Cleveland Cavaliers from being a middling team to being the team that had the best record in the NBA this year. So, and with so much discussion amongst Cavalier fans that that we should get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy, and now Darius Garland, who is right in the middle of that talk to begin with, the people are buoying their own arguments as to why, it was funny. The guy who's the eternal hopeful one, Mac, on Facebook, he says, I can't wait to get him back. We got to have Darius. And it doesn't matter if Darius were to climb down his chimney and steal everything from Mac's house, he'd still want Darius back. All right.
Okay.
Then you have the other people who it's like, we got to trade him. We just got to trade his ass, man. He's hurt all the time. And that doesn't cover the subject properly. So I'm going to attack this from a different perspective.
Oh.
And I'm not going to say he has to go or he has to stay. I'm just going to ask a few questions. And hopefully when that happens, you can come up and people can come up with a better solution in their mind. So here we go. He's 6 foot something, 100 something.
Yeah.
All right. And he plays a game in which he is the better distributor of our two guards.
He is.
Right.
All of the guards, really.
Right. So he passes the ball well. but he turns the ball over quite a bit. But the thing that has become the biggest problem with Darius, and I've said this in years past, but it has really come back to haunt him, is he can't finish at the rim. He was successful when he would shoot floaters. If he beat his man, then he would shoot a floater in the lane. But when he's continues on to the rim,
he gets killed.
And that's where injuries occur, and his body is not built for that kind of contact. And think of a guy like Derrick Rose, who
he
crashed to the basket. He was a lot bigger than Darius Garland, all right?
He was a good 3, 4, 5 inches.
Yeah. So this guy's getting bounced around like a pinball in a pinball machine. So that's the first thing. And so he's missed time. And people will say, well, the broken jaw wasn't his fault. And the turf toe isn't his fault either. However, what I can say is this. The Cavaliers, as they stand today, the surprise of the NBA with 64 regular season wins, are not nearly good enough.
Oh no, not by watching the teams we're seeing right now.
That's right.
Jesus.
I mean, if you're watching the finals,
oh my God,
you just got to be honest with yourself and say
we're nowhere near the Pacers or the Thunder.
Well, here's the thing that's interesting. When we were winning and doing all the right things, we were sharing the ball, we were, getting steals, we were getting into the open floor, and we were converting turnovers into points, all of that good stuff. When the more physical play in the playoffs went down, we weren't for shit. Yeah. The fact that Miami as a team totally was dissolved and dissipated.
Oh, they were horrible.
I mean, and Harrow probably won't be back after his performance. I mean, they're going to be trading a lot of people.
They need a new hero.
Miami. Yeah. They're going to be trading a lot of people to try to reestablish that franchise because it's an important franchise in the NBA. But you look at the Cavaliers, and I'm going to start naming some players and the problems they have. I just talked about Garland not being big enough and not being strong enough to be able to finish at the rim, and so he can get to the free throw line. And if he does, he gets hurt invariably. Whether he gets smacked in the face, gets his jaw broken, whatever it is, he's not built for that kind of thing.
No, nobody.
Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is the guy who's the first guy in the locker room to tell you that he's the leader of the team.
He is.
And the bottom line is, when the game matters, we become an ISO team with him out front creating a shot. Sometimes it's magic and sometimes it's not. And we live and we die with the superstar. Now, he started getting hurt because he does go to the rim and he has the body size to go to the rim. But he's holding on to the ball too much. Between he and Garland, especially at crunch time in important games, the ball is in their hands. We saw statistics that utilization was it was inordinate, but to 70% between two men, and the other three men are standing there saying, what am I doing out here? Evan Mobley can't see the basketball. We talk about, and I'll talk about him now. So you've got Chet Holmgren and you've got Evan Mobley. So which one do you want? And everyone will say Evan Mobley, and that's fine. But what good is he if he's just the perpetual defensive player of the year? Yep. And when Darius and with Donovan not getting the ball to him consistently to do things down low and to really shoot important shots. The leader of the team, Mitchell, is too busy taking those shots, whether it's because he believes he's the star of the team, whether he believes that he has the best chance, or he doesn't have faith in his teammates.
Yeah.
You can answer that. I'm not even going to try. I'm just bringing up points. Mobley showed that he's improved his three-point shot dramatically, that he's still a great defensive player. He turns the ball over too much when he puts the ball on the floor, so he has to be in spots where the ball gets to him. And this year, they wanted him to bring the ball up sometimes so we could get a full head of steam going to the rack, and that's fine, but that's not an offensive scheme at all.
No, and you can't do that against a team with decent defense. They'll just rob them blind.
And Evan is still not as strong physically as he's going to be. He works at it a lot harder than Darius Garland, who doesn't work at it at all. All right. And he won't again this offseason because he's not going to be able to do anything weight bearing. So you've got those guys. Then there's Jared Allen. We know how good Jared Allen can play, but we know also that he will never consistently play that way. It is not in his emotional makeup.
Yeah.
All right. So there's that. Then we have a bunch of players who, quite honestly, we don't know who the fifth man is. We're going to say Dean Wade, but he gets injured, and he's not getting injured for any other reason except he's a twig. I don't know what the story is, but he's easily injured. And he's not a great three-point shooter.
No.
He can play defense, but he's not physical to really back anybody down when he has the ball. He's strictly a shoot the ball from behind the arc kind of guy. That's one guy we've got. We've got Isaac Okoro, who half of the fan base seems to think, well, maybe not half, 25% think that, oh, he's a great defensive player, but he's 6'4". And he's going up, and the guards are bigger than he is.
Yeah, no.
When we got him, I remember he was supposed to be a guy who was going to stop the three. No. He's shorter than the ones and the twos now. And he's hesitant to shoot. He won't take an important shot, and if he misses two in a row, he won't shoot anymore. All right? So that's the reality with Isaac Okoro. Now, Ty Jerome had his best season ever, but he's on the block because he's a free agent. He can do whatever he wants to do. And a player like that, after what he's gone through, injury wise, he wants to make good money. Who can blame him? So, but the truth with him is that he had such an outstanding beginning of the season that there had to be the bringing things down to the mean average for him, because
people start scheming for him. So once they start doing that, you're pretty much done.
Well, I mean, he's a guy who career-wise was a 36% three-point shooter, and he was shooting 44% this year. And for a lot of the season, he was close to 48, 49%.
Yep.
So
but he's wide open for most of the time.
Things are going to even up with a player like that. And I think that he's a great guy off the bench, but I don't think that he's an NBA starter.
He's not a starter.
But again, take a look at the finals and look at the little guy for the Pacers who comes off the bench, TJ McConnell.
Yeah, well, he's pretty similar.
He's short. He's real short,
but
in flashing moments, he can be a pest. He's Dellavedova.
Yeah, and when they don't guard him, he goes to the hoop and scores baskets when they don't guard him.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's going to play maybe 20 minutes on the floor, and that'll be it, because you can't expose a team for too long because they'll take advantage of him. He can't guard people. So, scrappy guy. All right. And so is Ty Jerome, a real scrappy guy. Then you have Sam Merrill, and Sam Merrill, his shooting percentage dropped precipitously this year because he was playing more defense, but he's never going to beat you with his defense, and he's still going to be targeted, and he plays small as well. So if you have your shooting team on the floor, you might very well have Merrill on the floor. You may very well,
have Garland and Jerome and
I mean,
Mobley at the 5, and
you're short. You're not going to be able to get rebounds. The way this team is composed of players, the ingredients of the team, when we look at the finals of the NBA, I mean, how are the Cavaliers supposed to contend with a team that can bring in two big men like a Holmgren and the left-handed guy, Hartenstein,
yeah,
who are going to crash the boards on you, all right? And they have defensive pressure guys.
Dort. Yeah, they got Dort.
And of course, they have their star at SGA who doesn't as much hog the ball.
No.
And look at the Pacers. The Pacers have, Pascal Siakam, who
Siakam is fucking awesome, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, he has never been a difference maker when they were just an average team.
Yeah.
But, but Halliburton has had a career year, and things are going to catch up to him, too.
Yeah, I think the league's figuring him out, too.
He's having his moment, and that's a wonderful thing. But you look at Neesmith, and you look at all the guards that they have, and Matherin, they're built. They're built, and they're big, and if you have to stop them, and you're Sam Merrill, Isaac Okoro, and Ty Jerome, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. So what do you do if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers? The problem is so much bigger than just Darius Garland. The issue is you certainly need a more physical presence. And if you want Evan Mobley to take the next logical step, you have to decide where he's playing. Is he going to be a 5 or is he going to be a 4?
Yeah.
And if he's going to be a 5, then you don't need Jared Allen.
Yeah.
You got to move him if that's what the plan is. I don't know what the plan is.
Well, I'll make a comment as far as I think the Cavs were kind of set up this year to match up against the Celtics, and it turned out that was not the team to match up against. I mean, we're looking at the future of the NBA. The NBA has changed this year over the past 4 months. Now it's teams like the Thunder and the Pacers and the way they're built. The Celtics would have gotten killed by Oklahoma City had they played them. I mean, and we're the same way. We're like Celtics light. So us and Boston and the Knicks have to change personnel to keep up with these fuckers.
And it was like I was going to say, Giannis is saying he wants to stay with the Bucks, right? But he's saying all the right stuff.
He ain't gonna win there.
No, he's saying all the right stuff. Nobody wants a turncoat. You see?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're LeBron, you're a turncoat. But Giannis is smart. Right. He's saying, no, I want to stay right here in Milwaukee. But you know damn well, Milwaukee had its one championship, and they got old. They got old. I mean, you look at that team, and
now they got Haslam involved. So I definitely would want to leave.
But, Chris Middleton was an important part of them, important crunch time playing defense and making big shots, and he's gone. They have to revamp their team. And the only way they're going to be able to do it is to trade Giannis for the future. That means draft picks, and they gotta build.
Well,
nobody wants to be that way, but that's what happens to every NBA team virtually.
We don't have draft picks to give anybody, though, do we? I don't think we do.
No.
Yeah, fuck all.
But this is the problem the Cavaliers have. If those people are screaming, get rid of Garland, get rid of Garland, what do you have?
You got to kind of keep him, really.
If you need a real physical guy down low, because Jared Allen won't provide that on a regular basis, then if you keep Jared Allen, you're acknowledging that it's okay. He can play 82 games in a season, but when it comes to the playoffs, he's going to disappear.
Yeah.
And that's obviously the writing is already on the wall. So what do you do if you get rid of Darius Garland? Somebody explain to me in a simple way how that makes this Cavaliers team better.
It turns us into a 500 team straight away.
I mean, do you think that Donovan Mitchell, once Darius Garland is gone, is going to turn into a share the ball player?
No.
It's not going to happen. There's going to be more pressure on the leader of the team to take more shots and hog the ball even more.
And the only person who could really get away with that was LeBron, and Mitchell is not big and strong as LeBron was. I mean, he can't do it.
You take a look at the teams that are in the finals, and you look at the starters, but then you look at who's coming off the bench, and the bench players
are great.
They're solid and strong, physically strong, and the Pacers have got assumed roles. Matherin's the bad guy who aggravates people and tries to get technical fouls on people. You start looking at the guys, the 8 deep, if you will.
Yeah.
And what we tricked ourselves, and I got fooled too. It's like, God, we're 10 deep. We're 10 deep.
I thought that.
But the playoffs is played in such a physical way that 10 deep, it doesn't make any difference. There's no tomorrow in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, again, if you get rid of Sam Merrill, you're not going to get anything for him. If you get rid of Isaac Okoro, you're not going to get anything for him.
Yeah.
So, and if you get rid of Darius Garland, you have to get something in return. But
he's hurt. We're not going to get dick for him.
You're not going to get somebody as proficient offensively. You might get somebody who can defend more, but it's not at all likely that with his career history of injury and his lack of size in today's NBA, what is his open market value? And this is, I'm the reason I'm going through all this. Dan Gilbert will do anything to win.
Oh, God, yeah.
He will spend any amount of money to win. That isn't the issue. We're not talking about the Guardians. We're talking about the Cavaliers. Yeah. So, but what do you do? I mean, as much as I look at Garland and I say, man, he just doesn't have the strength for today's NBA. He doesn't have the verticality. And, if you lay off him from the outside, he'll score. If you pressure him, though, he can be pushed around. But what are you going to get that's better?
I mean, against Indiana, he couldn't even bring the ball up over half court because he was hurt, and then they were just all over him. They were like a pack of bees. I mean,
you remember when the Cavaliers got rid of Colin Sexton?
Correct.
And how we rebuilt. Yeah. And at that point, somebody believed that Colin Sexton, hey, he's going to be a 22-point-a-night scorer. But the fact of the matter is he was also reticent to shoot 3-point shots. There are holes in his game. And the Cavaliers did the right thing. But how do you build on a 64-win team? And the only way you can do it is construct a roster that is more playoff than it is regular season.
It would be better to lose more games in the regular season and then have a stronger team in the playoffs.
Yep. And that's what we're seeing in the finals. The Pacers came on strong at the back end of the season, and they just kept right on going. And now the Thunder were great from start to finish.
Well, that game last night, I saw again. I didn't see the entire game, but I saw the whole fourth quarter. And the Pacers, he showed Halliburton sitting on the bench, and he looked defeated. I'm just wondering whether the Cinderella slipper has fallen off the shoe for them. This next game in Indiana is really huge Wednesday night. If the Pacers lay an egg, then they're going to get swept.
The Thunder they're the better team.
They're different from the other teams the Pacers have played this year.
But the Pacers are the dream team in the sense that they're having a dream season.
Yeah.
Nobody would have expected or picked them to be where they are right now.
Well, I thought last night that they would cover the spread. I didn't think they were going to win, but I didn't think they'd get beat by like 18 points or whatever ridiculous amount it was. So, no, I got that wrong, but anyway.
Yeah. So I don't have answers, but
We have questions, though.
It isn't like a quick move here and checkmate. It isn't like that. I mean, this requires, I mean, there are fans who say we're a 64 win team and we're
Forget
one
about
step
that.
away from a championship and we got to take that next big step. And it's not there.
Those
These
people,
players, as they're assembled, are never going to be able to get that.
they need to watch the finals, these people, because we're nothing like these teams that are in the finals now.
No.
We're nothing like them. They are so far moving
No,
the
we
game
actually
forward.
were like them when teams were playing 3/4 speed in the regular season.
Correct.
And I mean, of course, we were cavalanching people because we put that pressure on, but that same pressure was doubled against us in the playoffs, and we couldn't handle it.
Couldn't
We
handle
became the team that got cavalanched.
Yeah.
And
Oh, and I got another comment. We lost all of our home games against the Pacers, I think, in the regular season and in the playoffs.
Yep.
And,
not a coincidence.
And the reason, I think it's harder now to win at home, particularly in those first two games, generally, because there's so much expectation on you that you've got to win at least one of those, that the home teams in these games are nervous. And that's why so many of them have gone wrong during these playoffs, because the crowd and Cleveland fans are the worst for making their teams nervous. I'm sorry, but we kind of like egg them on to lay an egg. It's just unbelievable.
Well, I just don't think that as a team we're ready for all this.
No,
I just don't think that
We're not.
this group of players. But it was a great season, and I think that's
It's
so
over.
I'm not going to denigrate the organization because they put together a great product, had high hopes, and were exposed again in the
It was
playoffs.
entertaining as fuck to watch while it was going on. It was really, really fun to watch these games when we were playing. But we're not playing the Washington Capitals. We're playing fucking real teams in the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll finish up the show this way real quick. And Mr. Martin, getting Giannis, you'd have to give up your entire future.
Yeah.
And that's not a good idea.
And what if he gets hurt? He's getting old.
How do you think the Utah Jazz become the Utah Jazz, or the Sacramento Kings become the Sacramento Kings? Because they're constantly turning over. And this is the conundrum that we have. And I don't have an answer for it, but I can make an argument for Darius Garland staying. I can make an argument for Darius Garland going, and the same thing for Donovan Mitchell, and the same thing for Jared Allen. I think Evan Mobley is untouchable. But beyond that, Isaac Okoro can go. Dean Wade can go.
Well, yeah.
Sam Merrill can go.
We're in the same boat as the Celtics and the Knicks. And all three teams got to figure out how to play in this new NBA.
And not only that, but what the Celtics found out is what happens when the whole idea of having those two superstars, with having Tatum and Brown. What happens when they're both hurt?
Correct. You're dead.
What are you going to do? I mean, you're going to rely on what? Yeah, Pritchard is going to come off the bench and save your soul. It's not going to happen.
We need Tommy Heinsohn for that. Paul Pritchard.
I'll tell you something. If the white guys had played more in the regular season, there'd have been a chance.
Right.
Yeah. So they were exposed because they didn't have depth.
Yeah.
And they gave up. They caved in and gave up. That was the end of them. I mean, so the favorites in the East and the Knicks, we knew what the Knicks were, they were one step away from firing Tibbs. And we talked about this for years.
They were just waiting for them to fire him. Excuse.
But we knew what the problem was with Tibbs as sure as we knew what the problem was with Bickerstaff.
Yeah.
He just going to do things his fucking way no matter what. He's going to roll that same prehistoric offense out on the floor. And the team is never going to get anywhere. But I will finish with the Guardians. The Guardians are a team that in their minor leagues, they're going through nothing but injuries. on their
God.
major league roster, nothing but injuries. Now Lane Thomas is coming back. Who
Oh
cares?
no.
I wish he'd go for good. The guy is hitting 119 this year, and I don't give a shit whether he plays or not. He's not a good center fielder, and be done with that. And of course, Will Wilson, who is their favorite.
Great
The
name.
thing that's the biggest treat for the Dolan families is naming a bunch of rotating infielders from the minor leagues who are utility players. And the utility players still somehow get 300 to 400 at bats. I am tired.
Oh, how many years do we have to watch John fucking McDonald come out?
Yeah, I mean,
it's the same guy. It's John
boy, he
McDonald
can really
every year.
field, can he?
John McDonald for the past 30 years has been coming off and playing in the infield. It's just amazing.
So, Lions, Tigers, and Bears, oh my. And what we have was Wilson, Arias, and Schneemann.
Oh, God.
There's not a major league player if you put the three of them together.
No.
The only thing about Arias is that he has some power. If he gets his bat on the ball, he can do that. They got rid of John Kenzie Noel and back to the minor leagues because he couldn't hit anything.
Is he really?
Oh,
Is he
yeah,
back
I
in the
mean,
minors?
big Christmas.
Wow.
Look, it's not December. The guy could only hit in December somewhere in Puerto Rico. I have no idea, but he doesn't play enough and get enough at bats, and so he's perpetually confused.
We always have that Charlie Spikes guy, though, too. I mean, we have John McDonald and Charlie Spikes every fucking year. It's amazing.
Yeah. But now the Guardians have a bigger problem on their hands.
Oh, God, what's wrong now? Who's
the
dead?
guy who looked so good, and I'm blanking on his name, Walters, the pitcher.
Oh, right.
He's gone.
Barbara.
He's gone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, his arm's gone. And so he's like, bye-bye.
Yeah.
It's not Tommy John thing. It's a lat injury.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll show you the lat. Right
Oh,
here,
sexy.
okay?
Bit of pork loin. No, cow loin.
That's right. This is where the ribs.
Ooh, oh, bit of beef.
So, yeah, no wonder he was having problems throwing the baseball. Absolutely. Nolan Jones or Alex Jones? Which one are we?
Nora Jones.
Yeah.
Tom Jones.
God.
Davey
we have
Jones.
a bunch of guys who are just not any good.
No.
And it's the offense is toast. It's been toast.
For 40
Everybody's
years.
just intentionally walking Jose Ramirez. And he still has a 34 game on base streak.
Really?
Yes, he does.
Wow.
But of course, they're walking him every game, so he keeps getting on base.
He's getting more walks than Barry
it does
Bonds.
make sense. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know.
Return to toughness. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, we've got to bring back toughness.
Bring back toughness.
Yeah, it sounds like something from a Ponderosa steakhouse. That'd be a great campaign for them for their steaks.
Yeah, we give you extra sharp knives so you can cut our food.
Yeah. We're bringing back the toughness at Ponderosa. Oh,
those
God.
white strings through the food. Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah, well, so I don't pretend to have answers, but it's not as simplistic as what idiots on the internet are suggesting.
We'll have you believe about everything.
get rid of this, get rid of this guy, just dump this guy. But that doesn't make you a stronger team. The question is, how do you maintain the chemistry of a team, but replace the weakest links to make you stronger in multiple ways? And that's beyond my articulation because that's not what I do for a living.
It's almost like we've got to develop some of these idiots down in the G League to come up, and I don't know whether there's any potential there.
Well, it was funny,
Dyson and all those guys.
I was listening to Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq,
and he's a big dumb fucker. You know,
He's big. Yeah, he's
you know,
definitely big.
he's talking like this.
Oh, that reminds me of something. Anyway, go ahead.
So he's ambling on
Yeah.
about, he goes, part of this thing that he's doing on the internet. Why in the fuck are you doing this? That's the name of the bit that he does.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with this, but
and so he's saying Cleveland Cavaliers, management. Why in the fuck are you keeping Imani Bates in the G League? And I'm like,
oh,
do you
okay.
even watch the Cavaliers? It's like, you have to ask that question. This is a guy, Imani Bates, who was 16 years old, and he was going to be the next Kobe. And it was right there on Sports Illustrated.
Right there.
But no, it hasn't happened. He's slow. He doesn't play defense, and he's not a good percentage shooter. I don't know, maybe it's part of the agenda to make the Cavaliers worse. I don't know, but it's ridiculous. Why don't we bring up Imani Bates and really start just firing away?
Well, I think my point is that we've got to find some diamond in the rough somewhere out there, like Ty Jerome was, bouncing around. There's got to be like a player that we can find that we can develop. We're not going to trade anybody.
What the scary part of it is that we have not developed a power forward in Cleveland
since Carlos Boozer, I think.
And he was undersized. Yeah. That is a huge problem.
Yeah, he'd be a guard now, Carlos Boozer.
Yeah, he was only 6'5".
Yeah.
And all the, our idea of tough was Ira Newble. I mean, we've just never, with Lenny Wilkins as the coach, and then as it moved forward to Mike Fratello, we had the big fat complacent Sean Kemp. Let's get high on weed, Sean Kemp, but we never had the big bold enforcer. And I think that it's so much become a DNA thing that the Cavaliers are not a physical basketball team.
Yeah.
And you got to get around that now because it's fast and it's physical. So one guy, you can point at one guy and say, we got to get rid of this one guy, but it's foolishness. And if you're going to replace people, you have to replace them with people, not like Sam Merrill, who it's like, well, he can make threes if he's wide open, but if he never gets his hands on the ball because Garland and Mitchell are just dribbling and taking the shot instead, then he's out on the floor and you're wasting the 17 minutes of him without getting shots up.
And you're playing 4-on-5 or whatever.
And he's catching the ball and shooting it so quick. There's no form in what he's doing, and he's missing the shots.
And we don't get the rebounds from him either. It's
so
crazy.
Again, I'm not, I'm not saying that I know a whole hell of a lot, but I know that the organization has a big challenge in front of it.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's really hard.
I would trade 14 of the wins last year to be a 50-win team, but to be able to go into the playoffs with a playoff lineup, with a roster of people. We have some tried and true tested people who have proven that they can guide us through the desert. We need that.
Even if we had somebody like, if you added Siakam to our team, Jesus, I mean, that would have made a massive difference, but you'd have to get rid of somebody.
Shane, we went over that. You'll see it on the replay when you get the archive. We went all over that situation. And all my thoughts on the guards on the Cavaliers, it's all been talked about. So I know I've run over time here.
So what do you think is going to happen Wednesday with the Thunder and the Pacers? Because I'm worried.
To me, I believe that one of the next two games that the Thunder are going to win. Yeah. And if the Thunder wins this upcoming game 3, Indiana's on a boatload of trouble.
Yeah, I don't think they can come back if they lose game 3.
So it's really incumbent upon Indiana to play its best game in game 3, because the next one, again, it's going to be an uphill struggle, but everything has been for the Pacers, and they've been the team o' destiny so far.
Yeah, they have. They have indeed.
So,
it's great watching.
And it's great for the city of Indianapolis. It really is, because nothing else happens there.
That reminds me, I don't know what feed you got, but obviously I'm seeing feeds that are provided by the betting companies here. So it's the League Pass without any commercials. And last night, they brought out the Oklahoma City Crew dancers that were supposed to be this hip hop group. and they looked like that Australian ray gun girl at the Olympics. It was just cringeworthy, and the crowd was like looking around like, are we meant to clap for this or what?
I'll tell you, I'm just lucky to be getting streams right now, the way I look at it. So at any rate, I got to get going, because I got to hop into the shower, and I've
things to do.
Yeah, got things that I got to accomplish. But Bronk, thanks for joining us. I'm sorry, Hammer. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
I was trying to resuscitate that microphone of yours, but it just went to bonkers.
Oh well. And
so
rest in peace, Sly Stone.
And I'll get off the air for Shane T, so he can go back, and so then he'll be
enlightened.
Yes. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in to this edition of Moohead Radio. We'll be back again on Friday. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.
Bye.